The following information covers the basics for tuning a Mars TRC 6000 coin changer. This is a dumb-neck coin changer. The same instructions would apply to the TRC 6000, TRC 6010, which is the 24 volt with the 12-pin plug, and the TRC 6010 XV. Most common problem on these is that they lose the quarter acceptance window. It is possible for the nickels and dimes, but about 90% of the changers we see do not accept quarters well. Prior to starting with the tuning procedure, it's a good idea to take a look at the acceptor currently in the machine. And what you want to do is examine the discs on the back of the acceptor. On this particular acceptor, these three are all in good condition. So there is a second style acceptor. This one right here has a black metal or plastic plate that's covering the metal disc, so we're going to go ahead and remove this plate. So just kind of undo this wire. And then we're just going to have a screwdriver. And here on these metal discs, none of them are cracked, which is very typical if it's dropped. On this particular one, there's this little clip is supposed to be in place holding this down, and it's not here, so it would not be ideal to tune this acceptor. While you're looking at your acceptors, another common problem is cracking up by this coin return lever just from a lot of stress on the plastic. A good idea at this point to replace, you can either buy the plastic plate here and move over some of the components, or we sell new or used complete acceptors. The final inspection on the acceptors is to flip it over with a standard straight blade screwdriver to go ahead and pull the cover off. Again, here you'll have two discs. You want to make sure that there's no material missing, that they're tight and good in place. If they're not, there's no point in doing the tuning. The most common problem, or a lot on these acceptors, this acceptor lid, basically I disconnected it from the back when I looked at the back parts. It's very easy to replace. It's just a metal clip that holds this in place, so it's very, very easy to replace this acceptor here. Just the new ones come like that. They clip it or held into place. Prior to starting the tune on the 6800H changer, very good idea to look at the option switches. There's 4 of them right here. I like to have the bottom 2, number 1 and 2, in the down position, number 3 and 4 in the upward position, and that just makes the testing go easy. What I'm going to do now is this acceptor assembly is all in good condition. I'm going to go ahead, put it in place, and connect this. This particular changer, I'm just going to go over the symptoms that are very common. I have a nickel and dime here. I expect this to accept them at this point. It's accepting it well. Prior to doing the testing, it was determined this changer had lost the tuning window for the quarter, so I expect this one to be rejected. So this right now is what we would expect to see, or what is very typical. The coin tubes are not filled, so it is not accepting this quarter, and it is taking the quarter and would be returning this to the customer. What I'm going to do as part of tuning this right now, on the tester, I've just disconnected power from the coin changer. So I'm going to open up the coin changer. This particular changer does not have a red LED indicating that power is off, so you just have to know that you've removed the power. This little jumper came when you purchased this CD. So I'm going to go ahead and connect it to, there's 2 pins. The 2 pins are located down here. Just when you put it on, I want to be very careful that both pins are covered. And I'm going to just put this acceptor back in place, just temporarily hold it in place. And on my tester, I've just turned it on. I'm going to wait 5 seconds. And prior to beginning the tuning, I'm going to go ahead and remove the jumper. The order that you put the coins in now is very, very important. You cannot deviate from it. I'm going to run in 2 nickels, and I expect them not to be accepted. So that's a good sign. In the event that the nickels were accepted and went into the tubes, that would indicate that the changer was not in the tuning mode. So there's no point in continuing because it's not going to do any good. If any coins are accepted while in the tuning mode, just go ahead and remove power from the changer, replace the jumper on the pins, and just start again. You have 2 dimes here. Feed them in separately. They should be rejected. I go ahead and feed in my 2 quarters. Should be rejected. And now my $2 coins. At this point, the tuning should be done. If you're familiar with the 6800H changers, when those are done tuning, the nickel tube pays out to indicate that the tuning process was successful. On this TRC 6000, does not do that. So my ideal situation now is, well, I always try my quarter first, and that was accepted, and it was channeled to the quarter acceptor, or quarter tube. That's good. I'm going to drop my dime through, nickel through. I'll drop some other miscellaneous coins through. After running your first coin through, it's a good idea to continue testing. Probably a good idea to test with at least 16 plus of each coin value. After I've done the tune, I like to always tune it with or test it with the quarter first, then the nickels or dimes. I don't run the dollar coins into the changer until I've done the quarter, nickels, and dimes, and at least partially filled up the tubes past the low coin sensors. So I'm just going to continue. Just a good idea to have on hand a good supply of miscellaneous coins. You want to drop at least 16 of each coin value through. After you've got some nickel, dime, and quarter inventory, check the dollar coins. This was good. This was a typical feed of what it just did. This would have dropped the coin into the coin box of the machine as a sale. So you obviously cannot go to the coin tubes because there's no position for it.